Hello and welcome to another edition of Pulp Picks. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
And we're here to give you this week's reading recommendations on a week that everything showed up on time.
Yay!
Huzzah! Super exciting. And I know that we keep saying this, and then as I'm putting the comics out on Tuesday night in preparation for Wednesday morning, and I keep putting more and more and more, with the help of Allison, more and more books out.
Yeah.
I think, God, I'm going to have to say on the video again, it's a huge week, or it's a massive week. It's huge. There's a ton of books here this week. And I read a lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot this morning. So go ahead with your pick. Let's get started.
Yeah, so my pick is Moon Knight issue 30, the last issue of this current run before we get our fun little reboot next month with Vengeance of Moon Knight.
Yes.
And I don't know, I don't think it's a real spoiler to say they've kind of been teasing this for a while now. So this issue we see the death of Mark Spector.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sure it's going to stick.
I'm sure. Well, there is a great bit in here though where he's pointed out to someone that the whole getting resurrected by Khonshu thing doesn't work anymore, and someone's just like, oh no.
Oh, sure.
And it's really funny. But so basically this issue, this whole arc has been Mark trying to deal with whoever this new Black Spectre is. They've got this plan to basically drive everyone in Manhattan insane and try and kill each other. So it's him and his crew trying to stop them. And it's in typical Moon Knight fashion. Things have gotten very bloody very quickly.
Things never escalate for Moon Knight.
As you can see, Mark's not in the best shape going by the cover.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he might be underselling it a little. But so it's basically he's trying to persevere against that. The rest of his team has got their own stuff going on. Zodiac is back. He's been kind of this reoccurring pain in the butt that Mark's been having to deal with this entire series. Every time this series shows up on here, nothing but the best you can expect from Marvel.
So for us anyway, and granted this is very anecdotal, but Moon Knight has been one of the best-selling titles in the entire store for the last 30 issues. Mm-hmm. And I think that's saying something, because he's always been one of those well-liked Marvel characters, or I don't know. A lot of people say I think Moon Knight's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, how much have you read? Hardly any. He's got a great look, and he's got some of the best covers ever. But to sell as many issues as we've been selling,
I feel like some of the only stuff we've got here that's been selling more consistently are the ones you'd expect, like Batman and Spider-Man.
Yeah, precisely.
And then there's Moon Knight is up there with them right now.
Moon Knight's up there with Hulk and Thor right now, and that's and has been consistently for this entire run.
If you've been enjoying this series, it ends on such a high note. One of my favorite reoccurring side characters gets a last page cameo, which I absolutely love. It's a good wrap up before the new relaunch next month, which I'm sure if you haven't been reading is going to be a great hopping on point. And if you have, it's going to be a great continuation of this. I don't know. I've seen so many endings just fumble the ball and just drop it and everything, but no, this one sticks the landing perfectly. Yeah, and I think that's one of the hardest things to do in storytelling across the board. How many TV series, how many books, how many movies, franchises have they told this long story, and it's really great right up until the end, and then they're I guess we end it this way? Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Speaking of things that are also coming to an ending soon.
Yeah, well, so I picked Guardians of the Galaxy number 9. And we picked a lot of the Lansing Kelly books. They're a writing duo that did a run on Captain America. They've done this.
Their new issue of Outsiders out this week, which is also really good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I read the first one. I haven't read the second one yet.
You get to meet a weird new version of the Challenges of the Unknown.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to check that out too. So I have a long history with the Marvel Galactic stuff, and going back to when I was a kid, and I picked up Nova issues in the bargain bins at conventions.
Patrick's a fan of Nova.
I know. And so when I got back into reading comics, Guardians of the Galaxy by Abnett and Lanning, and actually Annihilation was kind of the precursor to that, was one of the things that really dragged me back in because I was so surprised by how well it was written. And this, and so the road since then with the different Guardians of the Galaxy titles has been kind of rocky. Some of them have been really good. Some of them have been fine, but there's never been one that quite captured the chemistry magic as well as I liked that Abnett and Lanning run post Annihilation Conquest. And for me, this is one that does, because we're spending so much time with the interpersonal relationships in this series.
Well, because like with this one, I love just how it's just like a little road trip in the middle of like all this other stuff going on.
Yeah, which is classic storytelling, I think, and it does. It reminds me of like older comic books, not like pre even the Abnett and Lanning stuff from was that early 2000s?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're old now.
Man, I know, but like the 70s and 80s stuff, that's fun to go back and read, where they just kind of have this little side issue that is letting you get to know the characters more. And so this one is Mantis and Gamora are going on a little side adventure that's going to have major consequences to the team. And we not only are they trying to help one of their teammates who doesn't appear in this at all, but we're also learning a little bit more about Gamora and Mantis and some of the things that they've experienced that have made them who they are, or have made them try to figure out who they want to be.
Yeah.
And that is such a cool isn't quite right, but it's such a good, heartwarming concept. Like it really humanized them as characters. And that's another thing, is that they did not shy away at all from the origins, in the comic book origins, I should say, of the three characters that we're talking about, because they're delving deeply into those origins, which was really cool.
Yeah.
There's a saxophone that makes an appearance that is, I think Marvel has been trying to hide and forget for quite a long time, particularly since the movies came out. So if you read it and you get it, you get it. If not, whatever. I'm the weird guy talking about saxophones during the comic book review, but I really enjoyed it. I really like Kev Walker's art on this. I had a buddy who told me that he's hating this series, and I don't think we can be friends anymore. Sorry, I don't think we can be friends anymore. This is one of the best books that Marvel's writing right now, and I love Kev Walker. His run on the Predator series was great. I was so excited to see him doing this because I like the way he does sci-fi stuff. It's so good. Thank you. Thank you very much for putting this book together, everybody who's involved. I enjoyed it. So,
also, you were talking a lot about like Annihilation and all that. I if you're up on comic stuff, you've probably heard recently that like Keith Giffen passed away, and so DC and Marvel have had like a bunch of like in memoriam things in here, and being Guardians of the Galaxy, they've got like a special little one at the front of this issue for him.
Yeah, and it's. Social media can be a terrible, terrible place, but one of the really cool things that as a comic book shop owner I've been able to do is be social media contacts with lots of different people, and Keith Giffen was one of them. So when the announcement came across from his son-in-law that it had happened, I saw it right away, and I was so sad because he's had such a huge impact on comic books, and he was such a great imaginative creator of new people. And from everything that I've read, he was kind of a curmudgeon about getting any kind of credit or anything. But it sounds like he was a writer's writer and a creator's creator. And just an amazing breadth of work from him. So, well, coming on to another creator's creation. This is a book written and drawn, and we've picked a few of these lately, and we did number 1, I believe.
Yeah. So it's Batman, a Gargoyle of Gotham issue 2. Side note to that, we've also got more copies of issue 1 have come in, and then we also got a noir edition, which is kind of like doing black and white. I think we may have mentioned that we got an ash can for the first issue of this that was black and white, and just like how cool that was.
That was very cool.
And like, because I love the use of color in here for stuff, but it's also like the noir version is also just super cool, just seeing it in black and white. But we're here to talk about issue 2. Absolutely stellar work here from, I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong again, but Raphael Grandpa?
It's probably
Grandpa. It's probably not Grandpa, but no, like Patrick was saying, both doing the writing and art on here and just killing it.
Yeah, and so I love the look of this book.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's a couple designs for characters in here that are just like, these are like just amazing.
Yeah, wholly unique.
Yeah.
But they kind of automatically work. You see them and your brain just goes, yes. Mm-hmm. I don't know why nobody's done this before. Yeah. It's very cool, including Batman. I think Batman looks super cool in this. It's stylistic, and I'm sure that there will be some people who take exception to it because it's not classic Batman, but it looks really cool. Also, I really love when they force Batman to be a detective, and this is one of those stories as well.
I also love, because there's like this issue, like we were talking about beforehand, like ramps things up considerably. Like there's a lot of revelations for various characters in here that like changed basically everything you thought you already knew about everything going on with the different characters. There's like secrets are being held from people. There's maybe like weird organizations like working in the shadows doing stuff. It's
so many twists and turns in this. The second that you feel like you get where the direction is going, they upend it quickly. Because we get some revelations about Bruce's childhood and stuff, and as we felt like we were figuring some of that stuff out, the rug was pulled out from underneath. It's got this one kind of. It's got one of those, detective hunting down a serial killer vibes, and they're going totally down the wrong path, but the wrong path also kind of gets them.
Yeah, there's like these weird convergence of like seemingly unrelated events.
And I mean, aside from the aesthetics, there seems to be kind of a Silence of the Lambs kind of influence, right? I mean, the aesthetics, obviously, but there's more to it than that. And so it was kind of fun.
Like just like the build, like there's build up to like various like reveals, and you can like sometimes I feel it's very hard to get like a proper amount of like dread on a comic book page. Yeah. But like this one does it so well. Yeah, and because we had so many revelations in this book, which we both said was surprising to us by issue 2 already, I'm really excited to see just the scope of the story that we're going to end up getting. Because how many issues has it been solicited for? I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's probably like somewhere. I'm guessing like 4 or 6. Yeah, somewhere in it's the graphic novel. Yeah, that's obviously what they're going for. So this is a deeper rabbit hole than I thought it was going to be, and I'm excited to see just how far down we go. So well, like we said, there's just a ton of books. We had some other books that we really debated going with, but the wall is massive this week. Whatever you're interested in, there's definitely something for you, including we've gotten a number of additional printings of Transformers and Beneath the Trees. So if you've missed out on some, Void Rivals, the new Superior Spider-Man. Yeah, so if you've missed out on any of those, you've got some opportunities to be able to get caught up. And absolutely. Well, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, stop on into the store, leave comments. We love seeing those too. And we will be back next week with even more picks. Until then, take care.